Nothing divides more than politics. And the evil politicians try to say that I'm dividing the movement by pointing this fact out. No. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a freedom movement for the people. They are running political campaigns for themselves. This is not the same thing. And there is no such thing as a political freedom movement. I don't care how much Maxime Bernier copies my speeches. They're so desperate to try to co-opt you. I saw a PPC banner the other day with United Non-Compliance written on it. There's nothing united non-compliance about voting for any established party. Watch how I can explain it to you. So what happens if you vote for Trudeau? Okay, we get exactly what we had. What happens if you vote for O'Toole? More than likely, Trudeau's still going to win, but O'Toole has a mathematical chance. Guess what? He already said he's going to do the vaccine passport. He already said he supports the exact same gun ban that Trudeau did, and he supports the lockdowns. So, regardless who you vote for, you get the exact same. Then you have this alternative option named Maxime Bernier. They needed to give you this. Why? Because if you didn't have an alternative option or appear like you did, you'll be at places like this. You'll be listening to people like me. You'll be doing things to actually stand up for yourself. But if they have somebody that comes out and says, don't worry, I'm here to save you, you're gonna sit back down on your couch, you're gonna cast your vote like a good Canadian because you've been conditioned for decades that your vote matters. And when someone like me comes and tells you it doesn't, you actually lose your mind. You call me crazy, you attack me, you swear at me, and you scream and yell that even if it's in futility, we still need to vote. Really? So it's the equivalent of saying, I know I can't break that wall with my head, but I should go keep hitting my head on it over and over because, I've been told for decades that it matters. That's exactly what you're doing. So go vote for Maxime Bernier. Guess what's going to happen? He's not even going to win a seat, regardless. Even if I put my support behind him, which I never would because he's a liar and a globalist. But even if I did, he wouldn't win. And even if he did win, Doug Ford was anti-vaccine passport 5 weeks ago, right? And he would never do the vaccine. We would never have a segregated society. Meanwhile, just yesterday, the mayor of Niagara Falls was calling for locking down only the non-vaccinated. Oh, look at that. And guess what? It's so bad now that even the police finally got on our side. Yeah, did you guys know that? It's so bad, just like I predicted. I said eventually, when the police are stopping writing tickets to other people and having the government knocking on their door and coming for them, and they realize that they're just like the rest of us with the vaccine mandate and that you can't work if you don't get the jab, no choice options. Well, guess what? They held a protest on September 2nd. And I went there and I spoke on their behalf. The media tried to shut it down. The media tried to call it anti-vax. Anti-vax. That's what Trudeau calls anybody who's opposed to him. How are we anti-vax? How are we anti-mask? I don't care how many vaccines you take. I don't care how many masks you wear or what they look like. All I care about is that you provide me the freedom to choose for myself, just like I give you the freedom. So that's what Trudeau really means when Trudeau is going around saying we're not going to let anti-vaxxers dictate our campaign. What he's really trying to say is we're not going to let pro-freedom dictate our campaign. That's what he's really saying. He's trying to tell you that he's going to dictate what you do with your life and your family for the rest of your life. And he's going to break all the laws and all the medical privacy laws and all your rights and all your freedoms. And he's going to nullify the Charter of Rights and he's going to nullify the Bill of Rights because he said so. And there will be consequences if you don't listen to him. I will mention the Canadian Bill of Rights because not a lot of people know what it is. The Canadian Bill of Rights supersedes the Charter of Rights when you're looking at provincial. And it is in there that we do have medical freedom and we do have all the same rights like security of person. And informed consent, the very definition of informed consent means that you have to be given a fair choice. When their choice is you take it or you can't go to a restaurant, or you take it and you're getting fired, or you take it and you can't get on a plane or a bus, that is no longer a choice. That is no longer informed consent. That is called coercion, and that is assault under the criminal code. And everybody needs to fight back because it's not legal what they are doing. I just had a lady come and tell me 5 minutes ago, right here. She said her son was going to school. They said, you have to have a vaccine mandate. He's been following my videos. So guess what he did, smart young man? He went there and he served their ass with a notice of liability. And then he said, I'm not disclosing my vaccination status. And I paid my tuition, and I didn't sign anything anywhere that said I need to take any kind of shot to come to this school. So unless you want a lawsuit that you're going to lose, I'm gonna go to class. And you know what they said? Oh, we're gonna have one of our health inspectors call you. Okay, you can tell them to call me after class. That's how you fight this, by standing up for yourself. I looked at the actual law for the vaccine passport. Imagine that. I didn't let CTV tell me what to do. I just read the law as it states. And it's not even a law. It's a government edict, not even a mandate. And you know what the enforcement of it is currently? They'll give you a warning, an educational talk. That's what they're going to do to the businesses that choose not to enforce it. So that's what they're going to do to the customers that stand up for themselves. So why the hell would you comply with something that you know is going to lead you down the path to slavery? Why? Because they asked you nicely? And they didn't even ask you nicely. They told you meanly. They didn't even ask nicely. They told you meanly. So why the hell would you do it? What benefit is it to you? For the businesses that are even thinking of doing it, regardless of the moral implications and the fact that you're a giant piece of garbage if you do, and you deserve to have your business closed down, well, think about this. The last 18 months, who were the people that kept you afloat, kept your family fed, kept food on the table? Was it the people that are now double and waiting for their triple jab? No, they were the ones screaming for the government to close you down so they could feel safe, and calling you selfish because you wanted to be able to put food on the table for your family. Meanwhile, all of us, the unvaccinated, were the ones that were choosing not to stay home and choosing to frequent your business and keeping you alive. And now, when you get the chance, you're gonna put in a policy that's gonna stab us all in the back and cater to the people that wanted to shut you down? Good business practice. That's what we're up against. Well, guess what I'm doing? And I want everybody to do something similar. September 22nd, the Vax Pass goes into law. Well, I'm gonna go and show the government, and show the rest of the world how full of shit that is. How am I gonna do that? Well, I'm a member at a place called LA Fitness in Aurora, Ontario. I put them on notice. September 22nd. They said, we got a call from head office. They're wondering what we're gonna do about you because they know you come to our gym. I go, what do you think you're gonna do? September 22nd is gonna come. I'm gonna show up for my workout. I'm gonna tell you, if you ask me about my vaccine passport, I'm simply gonna tell you, my vaccine and my medical privacy are my business, not yours. Never disclose your vaccination status. Rule number 1 for the new world that we live in. Rule number 1, do not disclose your vaccination status to anybody. Not the government, not your employer, not a business, not even your grandmother, because she might tell on you. You never know these days. Your own family members are going to be the ones to turn you in. No. So that's LA Fitness. No, it's not a law. It's not a law, it's not even a mandate. There's no enforcement, there's no fine, there's no imprisonment. There's a stern talking to if you don't listen. So LA Fitness, I told them, I'm coming here September 22nd. If you ask me for my vaccine passport, I'm gonna tell you it's none of your business, and I'm gonna go train. And you're not gonna do a goddamn thing about it. That's what I told them. And I said, in fact, just to make a point, I'm gonna bring as many people as possible with me, and we're all gonna come in, and we're all gonna work out. So for the first people that come there, I'm gonna be giving away 50 free tank tops. Just say no, Christopher PM, and we're all gonna get them, and we're gonna go live, and I want Trudeau to be watching. I'm calling you out, Trudeau. I want you to be watching from wherever you're hiding. And yes, we know you're hiding, because you can't come to an event like this, because all the people that are here, there probably would be not even this many people, but they would be here to throw rocks at you, not cheer you on. We already know. So wherever you're hiding from, Trudeau, I'm gonna show everybody, and Doug Ford, and all the rest of you losers, on the 22nd, that your new vaccine passport has about as much weight as me taking a dump in a porta potty. So we're going to LA Fitness, and I want everybody to do the same thing. Go to the gym on the same day with a big group of people. Tell them you will not disclose your vaccination status, and you will be working out in the gym where you are a paying member for, where you never sign anything about a vaccination. If they choose to call the police on themselves like complete idiots, the police will come there and educate you. You can tell them that's nice. You can talk to me after I'm done my workout. And if they want to raid around, that's fine. And then guess what? Do it again tomorrow, and do it again tomorrow, and do it again tomorrow. And maybe the government will get the hint that we're not doing this vaccine passport thing. The police commissioners already half backed down. After we did that protest, and now that they see that there's literally almost 1,000 active duty officers that are backing us and ready to protest with us again, on top of the firefighters, on top of the frontline nurses, on top of the iron workers, on top of the steel workers, on top of the Electricians Board of Canada, we have all the ACTRA, we have all these different organizations coming to the table, and they're getting scared. So they're trying to nullify public opinion. So guess what they did for the police? They nullified the vaccine mandates. They stopped the push for them, but they also said, they put a caveat in there, we're no longer going to require servicemen and women to be vaccinated, but if you choose not to disclose your vaccination status, we might not give you duty. So they're basically still trying to do the same thing, but they had to acknowledge that we landed a big blow on them, and we put them on their heels. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to land another big blow on them and knock them the F out. No more Vax Pass, ladies and gentlemen. We're not negotiating on this. There will be no vaccine mandate in this country. There will be no segregation in this country. Another thing we're doing is, I told a couple people before this, but I got to get it out there. Everyone that's got one, can you bring that up here, young man, so I can show everybody? We made these wonderful posters. Sorry. Thank you. What's your name?
Sebastian.
Thank you, Sebastian. Give a hand, Sebastian, everybody. This is our future. This is why we're doing this. If you need a reason to stand up for yourself, if you need a reason why we're employing United Non-Compliance, think about what you love. Think about what you love more than anything in this world. Well, for me, it's my wife right there. I don't have any kids yet, but I'll fight for her. I'll fight for her till the day I die. And if you won't fight for your children the same way, we don't have a chance. Because the people that are fighting against us, they're being paid to do this. They're not fighting for their family. They're not fighting for love. They're fighting for greed. But if you fight for love, if you employ United Non-Compliance out of love and protection, it is unstoppable. And that's what this next thing is about. We're bringing out these flyers to every business. You can go to my website, www.realchrissky.com. You can download it for free. It's a PDF. Print them out. If you own a business, put it up in your window. If you're just a person like us, carry a stack with you. Bring it to every business you frequent. Get them to put it up. It states that they will not segregate based on any status, including vaccination status. AKA, they will not put up with the Vax Pass. It's 100% legal. They cannot do anything to you for putting it up, and it is a statement of solidarity. Ladies and gentlemen, you always ask me, well, how are we going to get through this? What we're going to do? And I always told you this. The key is United Non-Compliance. I even broke it down. Here, let me let you down, because I feel awkward keeping you up here for a little bit. Want a hand? Cheers. Thank you, brother. I don't want to steal that from you. Thank you, Sebastian. United Non-Compliance is something I came up with in April last year. Basically, I stole it from Gandhi. Sorry, I'm not gonna lie. That's where I got the idea. How do you beat an oppressive state that is doing everything to take control of you, but it's completely wrong and completely immoral? You simply, non-violently, not comply. You're not the bad guy when you're simply trying to live your life and look after your family, and the more they try to resist you, the more they show their true colors. If you haven't noticed, I'm pretty sure everybody here realizes that the government's pretty evil and tyrannical by now. And why is that? It's because we woke up enough people to challenge them. And when we challenge them, all of a sudden, they're wonderful carrots to get the vaccine, donuts. Here's an ice cream cone for your children. Here's a lottery ticket. As soon as we woke up to the scam, all of a sudden it was, you better take it or else. You notice how fast the government switched as soon as they got found out for what they are. That's what people need to realize. The government is not here to love you. The government is here to control you. That is the first phase of United Non-Compliance, the global awakening, the realization that everything that's happening to us right now has nothing to do with health and safety and everything to do with control. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to do with your health, nothing to do with your safety. It's all about control. Boom! That one little statement alters your perception, so now all the propaganda that they're feeding you to scare you and keep you complacent no longer scares you. Now it makes you angry because you're awake. And when we did that on a global scale, we had a global awakening of consciousness. That was the global awakening, 2020. Now we're in 2021 and it's almost done. We're more than halfway through. It is the year of phase 2, taking action. And we have been taking action in so many ways that the government now had to show their hand. But now is the time where we have to take action collectively against this vaccine passport in every way possible. So if you're out here, if you're at a business, organize with other business people in your area to put up the sign. If you're employed at a giant corporation, organize with other employees to fight against it. Start calling lawyers, getting them together. Start standing up for yourself. When the government sees collectively that we will not comply, you had Doug Ford trying to say 1% of the population doesn't want the vaccine passport. Meanwhile, CTV tried to publish their own poll, which was already skewed, and 75% of the population said that they don't support segregation against non-vaccinated. Why? Because even the vaccinated understand that freedom is essential. That is not a tagline, ladies and gentlemen. It is a fact of life. Without our freedoms, we do not have a functioning society. We have a Chinese-style dictatorship. And if you want to know where this goes, first of all, I discuss it in detail in my book. Here it is. We got it for sale. What's so special about this book? This is the most dangerous book alive right now. So dangerous, it's the first book in the history of the world to be banned by Amazon the day before it went on sale. Yeah, imagine that. They gave me a publishing distribution deal. I jumped through all the hoops. I filled out all the forms. Everything was good. And then 2 days before I was supposed to go on tour to release this book, I got arrested. One of the dozen times I got arrested. And they put all these conditions on me to try to prevent my tour from happening. But I made it happen anyway, as I always do, because freedom always finds a way. But then I got to where I was going in Vancouver, and hours before this was supposed to go live on sale, I got an email from Amazon that it now became the first book in the history of the world to be banned before it goes on sale. And the reason they gave me was, we can ban for whatever content we want, for whatever reason we want. So why did they ban it? It's because it exposes everything going on right now. It explains everything that's going on right now, and it tells you where it's going to go from now if you either stand up like I'm asking you to, or if you sit down and let them finish you off. That's why they don't want you to have this book, and that's why they tried to stop it. But I've already got thousands and thousands of copies all over Canada. I've been traveling the world, and everywhere I go, people buy them, and they don't buy one, they buy 4 or 5, and they give them out. Because this book will wake up even the double mask wearer who's hiding in their basement right now. It will get them to ask the very basic question, doesn't something feel wrong with everything that's going on? And when you ask that one question, that's the key to waking up somebody that's asleep as can be. And if you think that I'm downplaying how dangerous they believe this book is, and how dangerous do you think I am, you can go get Hitler's book on Amazon right now. But you can't get Chris Sky's book, Just Say No. You can get another book called Just Say No to Vaccines, but you can't get this one, which only has 1 chapter on vaccines of 10 chapters. So what are they so afraid of? They're afraid that they're afraid of the truth, and they're afraid that this book has the ability to spark an international conversation at the highest levels of government. So once we get out of phase 2 of United Non-Compliance, which is taking action, and that's gonna culminate with us rising up, dispelling this vaccine passport and getting our freedoms back, we can move on to phase 3 of United Non-Compliance. And that's my favorite one. That's holding these people accountable. And that's where you can have an actual political solution after you get your freedom back. You cannot vote your freedoms back from tyranny, ladies and gentlemen, or provide me one example from history where people have. It does not exist. It's up to the people to get their freedom back. And that's why every time someone tells me, oh, run for prime minister and save us, I get so angry. I tell them, I can't save you. Nobody can save you. If a politician tells you they're coming to save you, they're lying to you. What I can do is what I have been doing. Leading by example, providing you the knowledge, inspiration, and courage you need to save yourselves. That's United Non-Compliance. And no politician will ever tell you that because it gives the power to the people and takes it away from them. And the politicians are parasites. They can't even exist without your money or your support. So you think they're gonna give up their power, which makes them irrelevant? No, and we have proof. Why is our lockdown so long? Because every single time we went to have a vote to either end it or extend it, the politicians almost unanimously extended it. Why? They didn't have to abide by any restrictions. They actually got a pay raise. They had job security. And now they set up a system where they're the rulers, and you're the slaves. And then you wonder why every few months they would vote to keep that going rather than end it. So how can you have a real solution when the problem in itself is politics? When 338 of our political ridings are occupied by actual public sector parasites from every political party, you're only gonna get more of the same. So that's why I told everybody, even though there was a poll, they wrote a poll on Twitter, Chris Sky for PM versus Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, and Maxime Bernier. And embarrassingly, out of 15,000 votes, I got more votes than all of them put together times 3. 65% of the vote. Some people say, why don't you run? I said, because it won't change anything. We already decided, told you, it doesn't matter who you vote for. However, if you guys do want me to run, I told you what you need to do. If you work with me and you employ united non-compliance and follow my plan over the next few months, the day that we make the vaccine passport a bad memory is the day that I will announce my candidacy for Prime Minister, and I will launch my campaign called A Free Canada. And the basis of this is to replace those 338 political ridings, not with politicians from the public sector, but from private sector workers. People who have businesses in the country, roots in the country, roots in their community, people that would never vote for another lockdown, people that know how to run their own district without an annual budget deficit. Imagine that. Imagine people with actual business experience running our country, which is a giant business, rather than having people with no experience who are beholden to other interests. Imagine that. That's a free Canada, and that's where we can go if we do this. If we don't do this, you know where it goes? I just got a document sent to me today from the Toronto Police, and it's an official Government of Canada document, and its title is Preparing Canadian Businesses for the China Social Credit Score. Yeah, you know what that is? It's like a credit score, but for whatever you do online. So if you come to a place like this, your credit score drops. You take a selfie with me like you just did here, oh, you're in trouble, mister. You might even go to jail. And that's what they're gonna have on every business and every one of you. Why do you think they want a digital vaccine passport? You know that your ID is already digital, right? It's called ID 2020, and it went into play as soon as January 2021 hit. You still have your little cards on you so you don't know, but they also have an electronic version now. And September 22nd, they're gonna give you their little vaccination certificate card that you're supposed to be proud of and take selfies with and show everybody. And then in October, they're gonna come out with a wonderful digital version that you're supposed to download like a complete moron. And then when you download that digital vaccine passport, it gets merged with your digital identity. And now, because you're never actually fully vaccinated, by the way, as soon as you take your second dose, the clock starts ticking. And as soon as your time runs out, your little digital vaccine passport's gonna tell your digital identity that you're no longer vaccinated, so you lose your status. So now you're not allowed to go to a restaurant or go here. Electronically, it'll update automatically to the second. So you'll always have to go and get another shot every few months, or you won't be able to access your services. And guess what the next part of this is? Of course he's not gonna answer. What's he gonna say? He's gonna say, oh, we're not doing anything that's not gonna protect your privacy or come after you. Because they lie. I'm telling you exactly what they're gonna do and exactly how they're gonna do it. And then the next phase, now that they have your digital identity, and then they're gonna get you to be stupid enough to give them a digital vaccine passport so they can keep tabs on you and control you. They're gonna come out, and they already have it. You can go look this up if you don't believe me. There's a job available right now at the Bank of Canada. They want somebody to create a central bank digital currency. Because guess what, guys? Cash is dirty. It's a vector for transmission. It's bad for crime and money laundering. And obviously we can't track, trace, control it. So it has to go. So imagine, now that you have your digital identity, your digital vaccine passport, now you're gonna have a digital wallet attached to all of that. So if you don't get vaccinated, they will turn off your wallet and you won't even be able to go to a grocery store or shop online. That's the part. And then the final nail in the coffin that they add to that is your social credit score. So now, if you even type the wrong thing or say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing or be with the wrong person, they can shut off your access to society. Do you see where this is going, people? Every single day that goes by, our individual power is diminishing and theirs is growing. Right now, we are still individuals and each one of us has power. And when we come together in united non-compliance, that power is unstoppable. If you do nothing and you let them get all the way to their social credit score, our individual power is gone. And we go from individuals with power to literal little blips on a screen where they can flip a switch and get rid of you faster than you can get rid of an insect that you don't like. That's where this is headed. Ultimate and complete control. And now that we've found out, and now that the cat's out of the bag, they're gonna have to push hard. And we're gonna have to push back even harder. Ladies and gentlemen, the path before you is clear. It's either you stand up for yourself and we end up with a golden age of Canada that nobody has ever even imagined, where we have higher standard of living than we ever thought possible, with a lower cost of living than any other country in existence. That is what is available to us if we support the right people and we do the right things. And I'm telling you right now, our window of opportunity is closing. It gets smaller every day. They come out with new things every day. And if you think COVID is going to be the end of it, the next phase of lockdowns is going to be climate lockdowns. They're going to tell you how dangerous climate change is and how the only reason we haven't had a climate catastrophe in the last couple years is because we were all locked down. And that lack of human activity allowed the earth to heal. And it's essential to our future and well-being. So we're going to have to do these roving lockdowns, even without a pandemic, just for our own good for the earth. You're going to start hearing the phrase, build back better. And that's code word for we're coming to take your money and we're coming to take your wealth and property and we're going to use environmental regulations to do it. That's what they're doing. So you do nothing. That's where we're headed. You do nothing. You end up with a digital ID, a digital vaccine passport, a digital currency, and a digital social credit score where the government controls everything you do, everywhere you go, everyone you see. You'll never own anything, and you'll be happy, according to them. No, that's not how it works in communism, ladies and gentlemen. You never own anything, and then they either starve you to death or kill you mass murder style. Because right now, all the people that are complying are what they like to call our controllers useful idiots. They're using the masses to put the rest of us in line and to make the rest of us comply. And once they've done all that, who's the first to get sick? It's going to be all the idiots taking the jab, all the ones that are complying. They're going to be the first to die. So what happens when a useful idiot becomes useless? They become useless eaters, and they become expendable, and they become the first to go. So that's where we're headed. We're headed for this massive era of government control and massive era of everybody getting sick. If you doubt that, look at Israel. One of the highest vaccinated populations in the world. They're getting banned from going to places like Sweden because their infection rate is so high. They will not allow Israelis into specific countries. Go to Iceland, where they have 100% of their adult population with at least one dose, and they have a massive outbreak right now. Go to Japan, where they have no vaccinations virtually, and they have almost no cases. How did Japan, a country with 130 million people, a population density in Tokyo higher than anywhere in the world, and a population where 60% of their people are 60 plus, have no lockdowns, no mandatory masks, no mandatory vaccinations, and they have half as many dead people as Canada does, even though we have 37 million and they have 130 million. And we did mass lockdowns, mandatory vaccinations, and we complied with everything because that's what Canadians do. They like to do what they're told. So, all you logical, rational people out there, how can you explain that? Oh, what, Japanese people are just so much more healthy than Canadians that COVID didn't affect them? Or maybe it's because the lockdowns don't work, masks make you sicker, and vaccinations make you sicker. Maybe that's what it is. And that's what we need to tell everybody in the next couple of weeks, because now I've been saying this for months. But now the time has come, and you need to tell all the people that are complying, all the people that have complied so far exactly what's going to happen. Because then when it happens before their very eyes, and they get locked down like you told them, they may not be as much inclined to believe the government when the government tells them, oh, you'll be free after your 4th, 5th, or 6th shot. Well, this is what's going to happen. we're going to have an election. Trudeau more than likely going to win. Almost immediately, right after the vaccine passport gets put in play, we're going to hear rising cases. They're going to blame all the vaccinated people getting sick on a new variant. Then they're going to cleverly blame the new variant on us, the unvaccinated. They're going to call us filthy. They're going to call us dangerous. They're going to call us terrorists. They're going to use that as an excuse to mask everybody up, lock everybody down, and they're not going to let us out of lockdown until we either submit to vaccination or else. And that's going to be the ploy that they're going to use to try to turn society against each other and get the vaccinated people to support the idea of the vaccine passport. And that's why they've just upped their vaccination targets for Canada to 100% of the adult population. That's right, 75% was just a trick, like all the other tricks they tell you to get you to comply and then move the goalpost.
Vaccination unless you force
They need
it, so.
100%, because if only 75% of you got the jab and 25% of us won't consent to a vaccine passport that nullifies our rights and freedoms, well then they haven't really nullified our rights and freedoms. They need all of you to go along with it. That's why they already started testing the vaccine on 6-month-old to 11-year-olds. Because they need them to get vaccinated starting 2022. Remember, I'm telling you all this, because when they come for your children, maybe you'll start to think twice, and maybe you'll actually stand up for yourself. Because to this point, people are finally just starting to. I had no faith in Canada, if we're talking like 6 to 8 weeks ago even. But what I've seen in the past 6 weeks is people realizing who I am, noticing me, no matter where the hell I go. I could be stopped in traffic on a random street and someone will tap on my window and, "Are you Chris Sky? Can I get a picture?" And it sounds kind of crazy, but it's not, because this is something that's the biggest thing that's affected all of us more than anything in existence, since all of us have been alive. So if you're not aware of what's going on and you're not angry, there's something wrong with you. And finally, the majority are aware and they're angry, and we need to harness that into concerted action. For questions, as soon as I finish what I'm going to do, I'll tell you guys right now. I'm going to finish up my talk in like 1 minute, then I'm going to stand over here so I can do a question and answer. And while I'm doing the question and answer, if you guys want to do the march for, that's up to you. Okay, if you guys want to do the march for us, I'll do a Q&A after the march right here.
We'll make you stand for 2 hours and then we'll march.
Thank you very much. You mentioned Israel. Israel's a fascist country. We're not going to allow this country to be a fascist country.
Fuck Israel!
And Dr. Shiva shows you, my friends, the real reality is that they sold out, the Israeli president sold out to Pfizer, right? He's the marketing partner and he's got data sharing. And that's why they were able to get so many jabbed in Israel. And they put insidious community pressure and threats on those Israelis. And they're trying to do in Canada, and they're not going to succeed, my friends. Thank you very much.
True, and if you want a preview of what's going to happen in Canada, just look to Australia. They're already in their winter months. They're already locked down. They already can't go more than 5 kilometers from their house. They're already getting 2,800 homes raided per day for compliance checks to make sure they're home. The Australians are so compliant and pathetic, they are literally making them download a COVID app that makes them take a selfie to show the government that they're at home like good little slaves. So if you want that to be your future, don't listen to what I'm saying. If you want a different future, let's do that march. Come back here. I'll answer all your questions and just watch what I got coming in the weeks going forward, because I'm going to blow the lid off of these guys, and I'm coming with attacks from so many different angles that they don't know what the hell's going to hit them. There's a reason why I've been arrested a dozen times. There's a reason why I'm on 6 separate bail conditions. There's a reason why I'm not allowed to drive. I'm not allowed to fly. They took all my guns. They made it so I can't speak in Ontario when we're under stay-at-home orders. It's because they're scared of me. And you know what? You better be, because we're friggin' coming for you, and we're not gonna stop until we get what we want and we've put you where you belong. Thank you, everybody.
We're gonna win a